And welcome into Tigers, presented by I'm your host, Michael Conciatore, at the Winter Garden Ice Arena in Ridgefield, Connecticut, for today's FCIAC between the number 6 visiting Fairfield Warde Ludlowe Mustangs and your home field Tigers, the third-place team in the FCIAC in the regular season this year. Atop them, number 2, Darien and New Canaan, which New Canaan went 19-1 this season, just tying one game. It was an epic battle that ended 2-2 in a tie at both teams' home rinks as they share one. This season has been action-packed, and this season has been building up to this very moment, the FCIAC tournament, which is always an exciting event for all 6 teams that are competing, and especially those 2 teams with the bye, New Canaan and Darien, getting the bye for this tournament. New Canaan will be playing either Greenwich or St. Joe's, the winner of that game. And then the winner of this game, Ridgefield versus Fairfield, will play the number 2 team, Darien, this Thursday at 7:30. Darien Ice House will be the location where that game is played. As you can see on your camera right now, the boys FCIAC champion banner for this illustrious Ridgefield Tigers program. The Tigers three-peated in 2017, 18, and 19 with FCIAC wins. And then they got their 4th FCIAC championship of the decade in 2022 with a 1-0 overtime win against this Fairfield Mustangs team. It was an epic game at the Danbury Ice Arena in Danbury, Connecticut. Fantastic FCIAC game. I was watching that in my dorm room in Durham, New Hampshire, where I go to school. It was a fantastic watch as a fan. And then to be calling the game last season, the Tigers made the FCIAC championship against the New Canaan Rams last year and lost in overtime 4-3. That was a thrill. New Canaan on the amount of shots against on a Tiger goaltender this season. Andrew Sproul, number 1, the seniors, getting the nod for tonight's game against the Mustangs here at the Winter Garden Ice Arena. Stick around, stay tuned. We'll have the national anthem and your starting lineups here, and then first period action shortly.
Number 13, Luke Silence. On right wing, number 10, Jody DeRusso. On left wing, number 4, Harry Geary. Playing center for the Mustangs, number 11, A.J. Zaro. And in goal tonight for the Mustangs, number 31, Tristan Bacon. And for your regional Tigers, starting in left wing, number 4, Braden Payton. On right wing, number 21, Ryan McNicholas. A new goal tonight for the Ridgefield Tigers, number 1, Andrew Sproul. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the American flag for the stadium of the playing of the national anthem.
Well, fans, just about set for center ice puck drop starting off this first period of the FCIAC quarterfinal game between the Tigers and the Mustangs. These two teams have faced off twice before this season, both going to the Tigers. The first game was an 8-1 win here at the Winter Garden Ice Arena in Ridgefield. And the second one was at Sacred Heart University at the Martiri Family Arena. And the Tigers won that game by a score of 10-1. Each goaltender getting a win against these teams. So Sproul has seen the Mustangs offense, mostly regarding Cedric Toulouche and also Ian Morgan, two players with a lot of poise and patience when it comes to the offensive game. And this Fairfield team could surprise some folks. Of course, they are 0-19. They have had some pretty stellar performances and ties in this season. So we're looking forward to a good and exciting game of hockey here in Ridgefield as we start off with a face-off win. And the Tigers will move north, but it's taken in their own defensive end by the Mustangs. An indirect pass off of the boards and to his man, intercepted by Simonello. Passes it over to McNicholas. He has time and space. He'll move it over. His defenseman, the shot is blocked off a body and will get out of the zone by a clear off of a Mustang stick. Lockley hitting Simonello on the rush in the neutral zone. He'll hit Kirchner, or I believe that might be Blake Schlappak, who will hit the red line and go off for a change. Now the Tigers, interception in the offensive zone with Gallagher, who had a hot night on Saturday against the Jesuits. Fairfield Prep came into the Winter Garden Ice Arena and won the game. It was a very good one. It was a 3-2 victory for Fairfield Prep. Timmy Gallagher had 2 goals of his own for the Tigers and led the team to the victory. And now it looks like the Tigers are going to go to the power play here. Looks like Craig Hartwig was buried from behind and with the cross check. Not sure what the call will be yet, but let's take another look at it. Yep, Hertwig cross-checked from behind into the boards, and a little bit of a dangerous play, definitely a dangerous play, but I think Hertwig fell correctly, didn't go full face into the board. We're glad he's okay, and I believe he'll be staying out here for the power play. And yep, there he is on the near half wall. The Mustangs will win the face-off, but now it's taken back by the Tigers, and they'll go to work below the zone. Now Hertwig holding it on his backhand, moves up the half wall, and passes out to Blockley at the point. He'll walk the line. On the forehand, the shot will go in, and the score! The Tigers quickly make it 1-0 early in the first, and I believe it came for the stick of Blockley. Let's see who leads the line. Kirchner, he says he might have gotten a stick on it, so he'll take the lead. But a beautiful walk from Blockley, and he'll place it in the back of the net against this Mustangs team. It's 1-0. Let's get another look at it here. You can see him walking patiently, fires the puck. I don't know if that hit a body. I don't know if Kirchner got the goal. He's pointing to himself there. You can see it. So he wants credit. I'm sure Blockley does as well, but I'm sure both players wouldn't mind giving it to the other guy. Those are two good kids and really good role models for these younger brand of Tiger players. Two senior defensemen that have played a large role in this season. Now here's the shot from the slot to score. It looked like it was Clayton Walsh in front, cleaning up the change, and he scores his 5th goal of the season in his senior year. It looks like he did get a stick on that one. That one was definitely a little bit different than the Blockley shot, but a beautiful pass from George Avalani coming off of the injury. He makes a pass into the slot where Teddy Sproul gets possession, and he'll fire it on net. Seems like Clayton Walsh, a little bit of a Jordan shrug right there, claiming he had the goal. It's 2-0 Tigers, and it doesn't seem like the Tigers are going to slow down anytime soon. Still 13 minutes to go in this first period. Shot from DeMarco from the wing, out of the corner, and a nice stop there from Tristan Baker. He'll cover up for a stoppage of play, face-off deep in the Fairfield zone with 13:02 to go in the first. Face-off won by the Tigers. Shot blocked from DeMarco. Now goes out to the point. Schlapbach moves it over to the guy on the half wall, and the shot, and they score. It looked like it was Braden Kaseman, and I believe that's his first varsity goal, but they aren't grabbing the puck. Finally, they turn around. Braden Kaseman gets his first varsity goal for the Tigers here, and it looks like it's already trouble for Fairfield. The shot is high, and it is good. I don't think it hits Ian Breezak, who's in front of the net there. I believe it goes clean on Tristan Baker. You can see it from behind the net there. Beautifully set up by Joey Delgado, our director and our cameraman today. Yeah, the shot, I believe it just hits the ice, hits the goaltender's pad, and it sneaks in. Tristan Baker is now taken out. Leo Hood will take care of the rest of the game here for the Mustangs. And now the Tigers lead early in this first period. Just 12:30 to go in the first. A shot to score! Quick release there from Angelo Simonello. There's another goal. It's 4-0 Tigers now. On the first shot that Leo Hood sees, top of the slot for Simonello. He makes no mistake with that golden egg of an opportunity. I mean, that's a goal scorer's dream to get the puck in that position. Pass over from McNicholas. It looks like he mishandled the puck a little bit, and the puck just wound up on Simonello's stick, and he'll release that shot into the back of the net. Tigers not giving up now. Here's a breakaway for Kirchner. The shot, and he just misses the net. Just goes wide. Kirchner had an odd man rush. Pass in front. The shot from Gallagher. Rebound for Hertwig. He'll now collect his own opportunity. Pass in front for Kirchner. The shot. It's wide. Kirchner now playing some forward as the Tigers are running at 2-3. Forecheck. Rebound in front for Gallagher to score. 12:04 to go in the first, and the Tigers showing absolutely no mercy in this FCIAC quarterfinal. They're going to have to work on scoring goals if they're going to want to win this tournament. And that's exactly what they're going to do here with this opportunity that they have tonight on home ice. The seniors' last time playing at the Winter Garden Ice Arena here in Ridgefield, Connecticut. It's a special moment for those players as they played their last regular season game yesterday. And it seems like the Tigers have already taken a time play where they work on their forecheck. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's been controversial for the Fairfield fans, and it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do here. I believe that they will not give up until at least the second period, and not by giving up. I mean, giving the chance for Fairfield to break the puck out. I think that would be their number one issue that team could work on, so the Tigers giving them an opportunity to dump the puck in, Mustangs get it, and try to work on that breakout. I believe that's how the coaching staff of the Tigers would see it. In my eyes, that's how I would see it as well. But now, puck deep in the Ridgefield zone. First time we've seen that in this game. Moving it over to the far side. On the wing, indirect pass, high off the glass, but not out of the zone. Nice keep in there from the defenseman at the point. Looked like it was John Giallard. Now puck out into the neutral zone. Back out into the defensive end. And the Tigers having some trouble getting it out of their own zone, with the Fairfield running a 2-2-1 forecheck. Now Tigers finally getting a clean break into the offensive zone. Almost an offsides warning. Now a shot on net. Big save by Hood. And that one will go high in the air. It seemed like it hit the netting up top above the net on this side at the Winter Garden. That net hangs a little bit over the glass, so anything that goes high and off of a goaltender or post, crossbar, I really should say, it'll most likely be out. I've had some experience at this rink. Tigers forechecking hard now. Ian Breezak will win the battle to the puck. Taken quickly by the Mustangs, but walking down low is Blockley to keep that puck in the offensive zone for the Tigers. He'll try to do so again, but that puck will escape his stick and go all the way down the length of the ice, but not to the goal line, so no icing against the Mustangs. Puck just slowed down a bit too much for it to get all the way. Now a quick chance for the Mustangs here in front of the net of the Tigers. Sproul stands tall, but the Mustangs still hold possession. Good whack away there by Simonello as he shovels that one out to the neutral zone. His wingerman in McNicholas will go to work on the forecheck, and so will Blake Schlappak, jumping up on this 2-3 forecheck. Simonello stays out there. The Mustangs will enter the offensive zone. They'll slap it into an open corner where Blake Schlappak will take possession. Moving it over to McNicholas. They'll head south before going north. And now on the forehand, it's McNicholas moving it north. Passing it over to Rose. He's got room to work. He takes a shot. It goes off of a skate of a Mustangs player, and he now gets it on net, where it will be covered up by Leo Hood. And a stoppage of play face-off in the Fairfield zone. 9 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the first. Well, the Tigers had one thing in mind tonight. Start this FCIAC tournament strong. Score as many goals as you can, as quick as you can, and get up early. And go to work on things that you're going to have to work on and going to have to fine-tune in the practices in the upcoming days. Tuesday, Wednesday are large practices for this Tigers team, because they're going to have to prepare for the next stage of this tournament. That is, of course, if Warde does continue to be in the spot that they are in right now, and the Tigers end up winning this game by any score. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first. There's a stoppage of play as the puck goes into the bench of Fairfield, and the faceoff will be right outside of it, and outside of their zone as well, to the right of Leo Hood. new forwards and defensemen for both teams. Face-off won by Ridgefield. Gallagher wins it in the in the neutral zone, I should say, right outside of the offensive zone for the Tigers. He'll get the puck and possession at the red line. He'll dump it in deep. And the Tigers will go to work on the forecheck. Winning the puck for Ridgefield is Hertwig in the corner. He'll now move it over to Gallagher below the goal line. He'll walk towards the half wall. An indirect pass over to Carson Blockley. He tries to hold the line, can't do so. It's those plays in the FCX semifinals that will burn you, especially against a highly talented and high-skilled team like Darien. The Tigers beat the Blue Wave on Thursday, February 20th, in overtime here at the Winter Garden Ice Arena. That was an exciting game. Lots of goals from both sides. 9 in total for the game. It was a 5-4 victory in overtime. Darien, I think, outplayed the Tigers, too, in the overtime period. But Ridgefield was able to finish on their opportunities. Angelo Simonello, finishes his chance in front of the net to win the game for the Tigers. Now a shot. Clayton Walsh had a chance to tip that on the far post. Can't do so. Walking the line, here's the shot. Big glove save by Leo Hood, but it looks like the Tigers going to go to the power play here as Clayton Walsh was cross-checked from behind in front of the net. So the Tigers going on the man advantage, something that they can work on here for this semifinals as well. These things that you have to hone in on before these big games, before these do or die moments. The power play, if you get a man advantage in the FCX semifinals, are you going to be able to finish your opportunities and your chances? Now, the last time the Tigers won the FCX championship was 3 seasons ago in 2022 when they beat this very Fairfield Warde Ludlowe team. The Mustangs and the Tigers had an epic goalie duel as it was 1-0. Tigers won it in overtime through 3 periods of regulation. Both teams could not find Twine and the back of the net. They couldn't cross the goal line either. They couldn't do anything, really. Just shots on goal. Henry Ertl stood tall for the Tigers and got the shutout. He actually was scoreless through the entire FCX tournament. Seems like there's a player that was a little bit late to the party for this Fairfield team, but the Tigers on the man advantage now with McNicholas moving it down low. Zach Graziadel was the one coming onto the ice for Fairfield and onto the bench during the stoppage of play. Now Simonello entering the offensive zone. The shot from the right side will go off of a pad, but the Tigers will gain the rebound. Simonello is now holding, walks the line, moves it over to Schlappak for the one-time opportunity. It's blocked by a stick of a Mustang player. And now the Tigers will keep it with Schlappak's stick at the blue line. Pass it over to McNicholas, the shot to score. Schlappak finds his man on the half wall. McNicholas walks into the slot, fires a shot past Hood to make it 6-0 Tigers. With just a little bit to go in this first period. You can see it right there from the behind the net cam. What a screen in front from Jake Kurtz. Give him credit there. You can see him walking at the hash marks now, places himself in front of the goaltender's eyes, removing him from the play entirely and allowing McNicholas to find Twine. At 6-0 now, the Tigers lead. No signs of slowing down. George Avalani dumping it in deep. Now Ian Breezak trying to hold possession for the Tigers. It's taken here by the Mustangs, and a really nice hit from a good forechecker in George Avalani. He'll get the Mustangs a little bit discombobulated, but they'll now try to chip the puck out of the zone. It'll hit the mesh netting. They're out there with Carson Blockley, Teddy Sproul. And at the point there, I believe it's Braden Kays. To go in the first period here. Tigers lead 6-0. As it's been looking that way ever since the puck drop. Tigers really got to work early, and they were trying to make a statement to the rest of the FCX teams and really to the team that they're going to have to play with a win here in tonight's game. And Darien saying, we're coming for you. And you know what? That's going to be a really exciting hockey game. Very excited to see the outcome of that one. It is also in Darien, and this isn't the only time that the Tigers have had to play an FCIAC game in the tournament. Now switching back to the play. Here's the shot. Big save by Sproles, and he comes up big at the top of his crease, blocking the breakaway opportunity that the Mustangs had. And it looked like it was Ian Morgan, the Mustangs' best player here, the freshman forward who has been leading this team. He's been doing a great job, leading goal scorer on this squad, and a very, very sound hockey player. But as I was saying, as I was cut off from the game that I'm supposed to be calling right now, the Tigers have played an FCIAC game against a team in their home barn, specifically in the 2018, 17, and 19 FCIAC championships. I believe it was actually only 17 and 19, or I'm sorry, 18 and 19 when they played the Greenwich Cardinals in Greenwich. Far, as they've been a powerhouse in the division as well as Darien. They have a lot. Seems like the Tigers, the Rams, and the Blue Wave all have been a prominent part of this FCIAC hockey division. Now, Ian Breezak entering the offensive zone, holding it on his forehand, moving it back, and now Schlappak will move it across the zone. Here's a shot. Big save by Hood, and Avalani was getting beat up in front of the net, so he couldn't do anything about it. Ian Breezak gets poked away by Zwarhead, and keeping it in the zone is Mason Blockley. A wrapped puck. It was actually a fake wrap, and now he'll still have possession. Looks like it's Braden Caseman, who's playing with a little bit more swagger in his game. Moving it over to Blockley. Blockley behind the net, passing it out in front. The shot to score. Blake Schlappak makes it 7-0, and the Tigers not showing any mercy in this first period. They're going to continue to score. .440 to go in the first period. Tigers just made it 7-0 on the shot from Schlappak. Pass into the slot. And Gallagher almost set up Jake Kurtz. And that would have been a really good shot. And a really good score. Gallagher now getting the puck in the neutral zone. He bodies his man off of him. And another body behind the net. That one was from Jake Kurtz. Mustangs will get up from the ice. And they'll try to move it through their defensive zone into the neutral zone. Can't do anything, as Blockley will get possession in the red line, and he'll dump it in deep. 4 minutes to go in this first period. Just counting the clock now. Hertwig moving over to Gallagher with the one-time opportunity. Big save by Hood, and that one will stay out. Puck cleared out to the neutral zone. Hertwig is going to get a stick on that one. It almost was high sticking, but at this point in time in this situation of a game, you're not going to call that high sticking. That's for sure. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the first. Dean Scully now after that puck. As you can see, Bennett Rose either took a spill or he was just trying to do some power skating technique. Now, of course, most of these players had to do that as a kid, and I'm sure a lot of the parents that are listening to this broadcast, or maybe grandparents even know, and a big hit behind the goal line. It looks like there is a penalty against the Mustangs. Oof. That's a dangerous hit from behind the goal line there. Not sure who laid it on Clayton Walsh, but it was a cross-check and it was a boarding, so unsure what the call will be right now. Not sure how many minutes will be on the penalty. Should just be a minor, but I would not be surprised if it was a 5-minute major as well. That was a little bit of a dangerous play there. Just 2 minutes, though. Clayton Walsh, who just took the hit, is out on the ice. Of course, he wasn't on the ground expressing any pain, but it was definitely still a dangerous hit. McNicholas entering the offensive zone from the right side. He'll hold it on his forehand. He'll patiently walk behind the net, around the net, now passing it out to the point. Schlotbach down low, over on the wing for Simonello, who rips it in front. And now there's 2 men in front of the net. It looks like it was Walsh and it was Kirchner. McNicholas walks up high. And it wasn't Kirchner, it was actually Kurtz, number 9, in front of the net. Clayton Walsh in the center of this 1-3-1 power play formation with Blake Schlotbach at the point, Simonello and McNicholas at the wings. Now, Alexander Suarez makes the turnover in his defensive zone, and he'll chip it down the length of the ice. Tigers moving north. Simonello moving it over to Schlotbach. He's got some room to work, so he'll enter the zone from the right side and drop the puck back for Simonello. Simonello backhanded pass over to Schlotbach, and his stick, he only had one hand on it, so that puck will go wide. McNicholas backhanded pass down to Kurtz, who will move it back over for McNicholas, who will do the same. Chipped out by Suarez once again. And now the Mustangs, it looks like they might have a man opportunity, an odd man rush. But Schlotbach makes the stop. Clayton Walsh back to collect the puck from below the goal line, and now drops it back for Schlotbach. Schlotbach, a forehanded pass over to Simonello, who taps it over to Walsh, who tries to break through, passing it over across the slot to Kurtz. No call on the play. Move over to Blockley. Here's the shot, almost tipped that into the net, but stopped by Hood. And the tip by Kurtz in front of the net. He was out there for a while for that power play. Just 21 seconds left on this Tigers man advantage. 7-0 Ridgefield leads Fairfield. 1 minute 32 to go in the first period. Face-off won by the Tigers. It's quickly ripped over to Gallagher, who will score. And he makes it 8-0. Nice shot from Gallagher, beating Hood. And the pass coming from Blockley. This first unit of the power play is going to be big for the Tigers in this FCIAC and state run that they will go on. As you can see, off the face-off, Blockley gets possession, finds Gallagher, who was open, kind of curling out of the slot on the right side. And found him with his stick wide open, ready to rip. And he fires a goal into the back of the net. The Tigers will ice the puck. And now face off deep in the Ridgefield zone. Face off. Won by the Mustangs, played at the blue line, couldn't be kept in, so it creeps out to the neutral zone, and the Tigers will go to work. They'll hit the red line, they'll dump it in deep. They'll go for a 5-man change. It seems like they've settled on their options, scoring 8 goals and then going to Fairfield Ward Ludlow's worst nightmare of hitting the red line, dumping it in deep. They didn't like it in the first 2 games that they played Ridgefield. The Tigers have been doing this for a very long time. Ever since I've been watching them, as soon as they go up 8 goals on a team, they hit the red line, they dump it in deep, they get a change. And this has not changed for years. You can see it right there. 35 seconds to go in this first period. You are looking at the rest of the second and third period here with this remaining 30 seconds. The Tigers will run this gameplay for the rest of the game, unless they get scored on, which then they can score another goal and make the margin 8, as it was before. 15 seconds to go. Simonello playing it back over for McNicholas, who holds it on his forehand. And now Fairfield will get possession. In their defensive end, trying to move it forward, but the high forecheck for Simonello and McNicholas will be too much for the Mustangs to handle. They'll hit the red line, they'll dump it in deep, and there is the buzzer signaling the end of the first period. The Tigers skating off the ice for the first intermission, up 8 on this Mustangs team. Good period all around from the Tigers. Good defense, Good job by Sproul. He faced limited shots, but he made the saves. And the Tigers' offense has looked very fiery, and I'm excited to see what they can do in the rest of this playoffs. But that was the first period. Tigers and Mustangs. Stick around, stay tuned for second period action. We will have it shortly. We'll see you then. Fans, right here you are seeing our very own MVP TV Mason Blockley camera. Of course, before the game, during his warm-up, maybe in passing with Joey Delgado, our director and cameraman for tonight. I'm sure Mason Blockley decided to give him a helping hand as he saw him struggling with it. And you know what? That's just a good guy. That's the type of person and player that Mason Blockley is. He's a good player on the ice, but an even better person off the ice. It's always a pleasure to be calling him. And you know what? It's been really nice to see him develop as a player. Him starting off as a sophomore, a little bit more timid, but as he played on the first line of defense his junior year with Sean Rigby, you could really see him harness all of his hockey skills and become the great defenseman that he is for this Tigers team today. With that face-off win by the Tigers, they'll slap it forward. And now Warde Ludlowe will go on the neutral zone or defensive zone regroup. Harry Geary, sorry, moving up forward. And the Tigers will intercept in the neutral zone. They'll get a shot on net. Leo Hood makes the blocker stop, and they'll go off for a change. But like we said earlier in the first period, this is the seniors' last opportunity to play on their home ice. Almost every single one of these kids on this senior class grew up in this town, grew up on this hockey rink, as the Winter Garden Ice Arena is home to the Ridgefield Amateur Hockey Association, RAHA, the Ridgefield Lions, of course. And a lot of these players played for them, and even some of them played Ridgefield Jaguars, the house program that this Winter Garden Ice Arena offers. Braden Kaseman, number 4, you saw him just dump the puck in. He actually was on a Ridgefield Jaguars team that I coached, along with number 3, Clayton Walsh, and even number 23, Dean Scully. These are 3 players that I had the pleasure of teaching, some basics of the games, when they were early in their hockey career. I believe they were all 6th grade, 7th grade, and they really loved the game, but they were just starting up, and to see them grow and to get all the way to this point, fantastic to see. Putting on the jersey that I had put on, well, really not the same jersey as the Tigers got new branding. Breakaway opportunity for Warde, the shot, the save. And a nice job by Sproul, keeping his head in the game. And I wasn't so much in the game, but a nice spring pass from Warde. And you see when the Tigers dump and change and make this play that they do as they're up 8 in this game early, they give Warde the chance to get on opportunities like these. The shot, the score! Number 9, Christian Santa, the assistant captain, brings a present to this Warde team, and he makes it 8-1. Fairfield has scored against this Tigers team twice this season, one in each game that they've seen. From the behind-the-net cam, you can see Santa's ripper of a shot beating the southpaw Sproul on his glove side. And the Tigers running a 1-4 in the neutral zone, which is where one forward, the center or the wing, usually the wing, who's the first forward on the puck, is hovering around the far blue line on the puck carrier of the other team, and the other 4 are crowding the blue line. Somehow in that neutral zone formation, the Tigers were unable to clog every entry lane, and the puck slipped behind them, and Christian Santa made absolutely no mistake. Big hit in the corner here as a Tiger player takes it, but he makes the play and moves the puck forward. Gill now. The south. Go. One of the captains for this Warde team hit the red line and dump it in deep. The Tigers will do the same as Sproul. Will try to get it in deep. They fail to. So on the ice, after with the trying to get on his man, but Cedric Toulouche will move it forward. Now the Tigers on the backhand, it over to Eddie Sproul, his brother Andrew just made on the breakaway, and Warde got a second again on another way, unable to come up. This Santa, one of his few opportunities that he's got this season, he makes good and cashes that into the It was a shot. Now 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the second period. And the Tigers will get it in deep for a change. Moving forward with possession. Red line, he'll dump it in deep, and the Tigers will go from all 5 players. He'll enter the offensive side. He'll move the puck forward, and Kurtz is hit, but he can't get the puck out of the zone. The shot is wide of Sproul's net. Now the Tigers will move it forward. Trying to hit McNicholas is Kurtz, and it will be indirect, but on to the goal, and Leo Hood will have to play that and make a stop on goal. Now 10 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the second period. Moving forward is Warde, but Simonello steals that in the neutral zone. Lockley, the lefty, with possession on the forehand, moves it over to McNicholas, who will chop that puck past the red line and dump it in deep. Gallagher hops over the boards with Craig Hertwig, his line mate. They've been playing really stellar hockey all season. Gallagher will get possession in the offensive zone. He'll dump it in deep. Now Clayton Walsh steps over the boards. DeMarco also on the ice for the Tigers, and Bennett Rose, as you can see on the camera. 9 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Fairfield will dump the puck deep. They said they're not going to be bullish around in this game. Early in the second, from 8 to 7, with a beautiful shot. I mean, Christian Santa, he would line that one up and beat Sproul. What a shot, what a score. Entertaining goal for sure. Looked like it was too many men on the ice for this Fairfield Ward team, or it was after the whistle that they had sent a guy over the board, so they had to change that out. Now, centerman is kicked out. Another whistle, I may add. And now referee finally ready to drop the puck. Clayton Walsh slapping it in deep. It looks like he'll go for a change immediately, along with the other Ridgefield forwards. Ian Breezak spills over the boards. He'll now steal it, but he'll now get rid of it. I think he had the puck in the top of the shoot and off into open ice goal line of the Fairfield team. He'll go off for a change. New players spill forward, and Ward will get it in deep after hitting the red line. They'll keep it in at the blue lines. Simonello can't get it out. Now the pass over to McNicholas. Slowly walking through, he'll hit the red line. He'll dump it in deep. No icing. The referee said the puck tipped off of Gillard's stick. He'll now hold it on his forehand, indirect pass forward. Now gotten out of their own zone is Fairfield, but the Tigers moving forward now. Going back south by Gallagher, passing it over to Rose. Rose has Scully on his right side. Fakes him off and now moves the puck forward even farther than him over to Gallagher. Gallagher will dump it in deep. Change for all 5 forward and defensemen. 8 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the second period. And this isn't Fairfield's last game. They still have a regular season game that they have to play against Amity. And that could be their chance to capture their win for the season, and I believe that they could do so against that team. I mean, this Fairfield team scoring that beautiful goal against the Tigers, you can see that there's life in this forward group that these Mustangs hold. They're well coached as well. But the Tigers just moving a bit above them right now, dictating the pace of play for this game from the start and from the first puck drop at center ice. They'll now hit the red line with DeMarco, and they'll all go for a change. All 5 forwards, giving the Mustangs a chance to gain possession with speed throughout the zone. And Avalani will hit his man off the puck. Hazeman gathers and fires into the offensive zone, goes off for a change. The Mustangs moving forward now. Good neutral zone play from them. The pass is getting by, but the blue line and the zone entry is Jack Kirchner, slapping that one away. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the second. Stolen by McNicholas in the neutral zone. He had some speed going there, slows down and rips it into the offensive zone. Resnick Reimer gathers for the Warde Ludlowe co-op team. Passes it over to his defensive partner, and Fairfield moves it forward. Tigers take it off the stick of Teddy Sproul, and he'll indirectly pass it forward, but it's stolen back by the Mustangs. Bit of back and forth here, just passing. No action in either offensive zone. Mostly neutral zone play. That puck is sent down the length of the ice. And it looks like Sproul came out of his net to play that one, so no ice. Lockley comes out of the right side from behind his net. Moving it over to Walsh. He'll slap the puck in deep and go off for a change. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the second period. The Mustangs moving forward. Another drop pass deeper into their own zone for Harry Geary. Geary now holds behind his net for some protection. Leo Hood circling in his net to get a POV of Geary coming from behind. Here's the shot. That one is stopped by the goaltender and move forward. They'll enter the zone from the right side. The Mustangs fire a shot, but it's wide. Now they'll get the rebound. It's taken back here by Ridgefield in the neutral zone. McNicholas hitting the red line, dumping it in deep. It looked like he entered the zone for a little bit there. May have gone to work, didn't do so. Another 360 rotation there from Leo Hood in the net. Just getting a vantage point. Seeing his player behind him. Moving it back. Hitting the red line, dumping it in deep, going off for a change. Hard stops from Gallagher and Hertwig as they have a little bit of fun here. Fairfield moving forward, getting it past the Tigers defenseman. Fighting for possession is Rose and Scully, and Rose ends up coming up with it. The Tigers play it out into the neutral zone. Slapped into the zone ahead. Looks like the Tigers going to go off for a change after the play from Kirchner. They'll wrap it so hard that I believe a Tigers player will jump on it first, and the shot is whistled down for an offsides against the Tigers. So, 4 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the second period. A little bit of slower action here in the second period. Slapping that puck ahead is Breezak. Looks like he has an odd man rush opportunity. He'll pass it off into the corner. And Warde will move the other way. He'll pass that puck forward. Now Fairfield with the shot at the top of the slot. Very nice stop from Sproul. Covers that one up for a stoppage of play. Face off in the Ridgefield end. 4 minutes, 14 seconds to go in the second period. I'm wondering if the Tigers are on the penalty kill. Yes, they are. As I missed where it was a penalty, but just with 4 minutes to go in the second period, Fairfield will get a man advantage. They'll exit their defensive zone and enter their offensive, but cut back right before the blue line. Tigers will steal that puck and get it in deep. 3 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the second period. Moving it forward now. Having to gather it in the neutral zone is Taluch. Holding it on the forehand, the shot is wide. Now gotten towards the front of the net. It's swept up here by Teddy Sproul. Skates out from behind the net and clears that puck down the length of the ice. Just 3 minutes to go here in the second period, and then the Tigers will then shoot towards this near net. And by shoot, I really mean hit the red line and dump it in deep, as you see right there. Kirchner whiffs on the puck, now gets a shot on net. Stopped with the glove, and he'll out. Referee's not blowing the now. Bolt the Mustangs. 2 to go in the second period. They'll try to board here with the pass over to Walsh, but it's intercepted by the Mustangs. Through play, and a Gretzky turn pass out to the point. Very nice job. I can't see the number. It was actually Alexander Zwared. Man, now the shot on net by Zwared as he was clear in front of the net with a couple of guys in front of him. Nice stop by Sproul. And with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the second period, we will have another face-off deep in the Ridgefield zone. Behind the net cam, you can see the shot here from Zwared. Gets it off right in the slot, right in front of Sproul, and Sproul stays tall. Really nice save by him. Coming up big with that one. And now face off to the left of Sproul. One back by Fairfield, pass across the zone. Here's the shot, big stop. Or that one actually might have just grazed the blocker of Sproul. Don't know if I can count that as a shot on goal. Either way, swept aside into the corner. 1 minute 50 seconds to go in the second. Ward holding possession from behind their net. Moving it forward. Nice play there from Ryan Dilly. Unless that's Cole Obringer, who brought us the news that not the last game that Fairfield will have a rescheduled regular against Amity, which we mentioned before. It could be this Mustangs program to get back column after a tough season, tough and long season. Big success, but they have some talent coming up the pipeline, and so a lot of younger talent on this team, especially with Ian Morgan. Now 50 seconds to go in the second period. 8-1, Tigers lead on home ice. Goes down to 40. Ward will hit the red line. They'll dump it in deep behind Sproul. Comes out of his net to play it for Carson Blockley, who moves it forward. They'll get a chip on that one, and they'll dump it in deep. 25 seconds to go now in the second. Swept aside by Walsh on the forecheck. Nice play from him. Now to help him out is DeMarco hitting the red line, dumping in deep. And now under 5 seconds to go in the second period, the Ward player will look up to the scoreboard and just hold it and pass it into the corner. There's the final buzzer. And that is all for the second period here at the Winter Garden Ice Arena, Connecticut. Stick around, stay tuned for third period action as the Tigers lead.
Breaking news with Paul Toole.
Like this broadcast you're watching now? Do you have an event that you'd like to be streamed or broadcast just like this? Contact us today to get more information on how we can stream your game or event. Just call us at 831-809-6629 or check us out at www.memory2video.com.
And fans, welcome back. Third period action afoot here in Ridgefield. As you can see on the Mason Blockley cam, presented by MVP TV, brought to you by Joey Delgado, and also Mason Blockley. Showing off this Tigers bench and forward group, defensive group team that has come so far from the first game that they played at the Wonderland of Ice in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That was a fun one. And that was a really intense teams match. You saw that in the last game that the Tigers just played against Fairfield Prep here at the Winter Garden. Both teams are neck and neck. And if they find themselves playing each other in the state final, or not state final, but state tournament, that would be an epic matchup and something that the fans would love to see. A rivalry game, and one that is, at another one of its peaks. The fans last game were rowdy, and especially rowdy from both sides. They brought the action, and I actually had called earlier in the game and early before the first period had started that Prep usually comes out quick and loud on the road. But it didn't seem to be the case. And then, of course, they show up just a little bit after the puck drop had started, and they shut me up, that's for sure. But welcome back here. Hockey action at the Winter Garden Ice Arena. The Mustangs moving forward, and the Tigers will collect with Scully on his forehand, making an indirect pass to Gallagher all the way in the neutral zone, but it's picked up by Warde past the red line. It'll go south to go north again, but Bennett Rose makes the interception in the neutral zone on the forehand, and he'll chip that one in deep. 14 minutes to go. 14 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the third period. Just clock watching. The Tigers will hit the red line. They'll dump it in deep, off of the boards, and behind the goal line and net of the Mustangs team. They'll skate out from the right side. Luke Silence, and he'll get that puck back on his stick. The Mustangs holding possession deep in their own end. A drop pass. Warde moves it across the zone. Stolen here by Blockley of the Tigers. He'll hit the red line. He'll dump it in deep. Warde from the left side of his net. Taken here by the Tigers off the steal. They'll get it deep in the Mustang zone and go off for a three-man change. It seemed like some players decided to stay. Back, they dump it in again. They'll go off for another change. Now just 13 minutes and seconds to go in the third period. Stolen here by the Tigers. By Hertwig, passing it back over to Blockley. And now moving north is the Mustangs. They'll enter the offensive zone from the left side. No offsides, and the Tigers will head north. A cross-ice pass to the far boards. Caught by Rose, and he'll get it in deep. 12 minutes, 35 seconds now. He'll hit the red line. Hopefully he got all the way there. He did, and Sproul out of his net to play that one. Sproul, who had just made the pass over to Kurtz. It is his final game in the Winter Garden Ice Arena. He came up big multiple times this season on home ice and on the road. He had the most shutouts out of the two goaltenders. And both of the goaltenders, Britton and Sproul, combined for 5. 3 for Sproul and 2 for Britton. Fantastic season from both of those goaltenders. The tandem will be missed next season. James Britton is a sophomore this year. He'll come back for his junior year after a very stellar start to his career, his freshman season last year. Played really, really good, proved himself to Coach Gallagher and the rest of this Tigers program that he can lead this goaltender tandem. And Andrew Sproul really not giving up in the race for starting goaltender either. He's also played equally as well, especially in this season. Last year was a little bit of a rougher start for him, but this year he was off and running to a really good senior year and senior season for the Tigers. Commending him for an incredible effort in between the pipes for this Tigers team. Gotten down the ice, and there is the first whistle of the period. 11 minutes, 7 seconds to go in the third. And there was a second there when I was thinking that it was going to be looking like maybe no whistles in this third period. I didn't think it was maybe even a possibility, but and it was forwarded right there. Face-off won by the Mustangs in their own end to the right of Hood. Now, there were a lot of games where the Tigers this season, from our point of view, the 12-8 record, you know, the Tigers had a much better season than their record indicates, in our opinion. Tough loss against Stanford West Hill, which wasn't also an FCIAC matchup, which could have been 2 points added to the FCIAC total, and they would have been tied with Darien in the FCIAC standings. But the win in overtime would have put them with the bye, and they wouldn't have had to play this game. It would have been Darien in this position instead of the Tigers. But it was that loss to Stanford West Hill that kept this Tigers team from an impressive 13-7 look coming into this FCIAC tournament. Instead, they come in with a 12-8 record. Also, the second game against Simsbury, I didn't think that they were playing their best end of hockey. Of course, it was the second game. Lost to their rival in Fairfield Prep. The season off 0-2. and then won the next 4 straight. 2 wins against Xavier and a win against Northwest Catholic as well. New Canaan, they lost that game 2-0 here at the winter game against this team that Connecticut won standings. And that's really right now by a long shot. They're 19-0-1. Their one tie we mentioned in the pregame came to Darien. That was a battle of the ages and a battle of their historic rival as well, one that will definitely be remembered. After the loss to New Canaan on home ice, then they played this Mustangs team January the 11th and got the win on that Saturday 8-1, which started up a 3-game win streak. We win Hamill against Smithfield, Portland. The day after that, it was actually a loss to the Prout School 4-1, and then that started off a 3-game losing. Again, we met Hufford West Hill on Wednesday, January 22nd. That would have been a big win for this Tigers team to have a record tough loss. But you got to give the Vikings credit in that game. They played really, really well. 2 periods, the Tigers first. Ended up only up 1, and then going into the second intermission, they were tied 1-1 and really couldn't end up winning the game. Then another loss to Darien 3-1, or actually that was actually the first time that they had played. Was another loss to make it 3 in a row. To get the on back column against St. Joe's, a 2-0 win against Greenwich, and a 3-2 win against Notre Dame Prep, which Will Britton had scored in the final seconds of that game to make it 3-2 at the Martiri Family Arena. That was a really nice game. The next game was a loss against New Canaan. The Rams really routed the Tigers 6-1 on home ice. Tigers got a little bit of a bounce back against this Fairfield team on the road, winning 10-1, which brought them to the Darien game, which was originally scheduled for Saturday the 15th, moved to Thursday the 20th, and we called that game on MVP TV. That was one of the most exciting games of the season, if not the most exciting. Last night was, not last night, but Saturday was definitely a doozy as well. No call on the ice here. There's some fists flying between Gallagher and number 20 and Ryan Dilly. It's a battle out there, getting a little bit physical. Gallagher picking up something from the ice, but Dilly will head off. He's kept. Yeah, so Dilly took down Hertwig pretty aggressively. I don't think Gallagher's going to go to the box here. He was just standing up. Made it. So took it a little bit over the edge. But yeah, that win against Derek in the 5 in overtime where Simonello had off his game. The Tigers' incredible game. James Britton saw 55 shots in that one. He made 51 saves in the 5-4 overtime win here in the Winter Garden Ice Arena. That was incredible on home ice. It's a power play here for the Tigers. They'll let the Mustangs hold possession at the goal line. It seems like they'll stick handle the puck and now fake moving forward to the right side. They'll end up still with the stick handle. Tigers still electing not to play any offense. And then on Saturday, you saw the epic 2-goal game from Timmy Gallagher and the rest of the Tiger crew. That Tiger team played a really good game against Fairfield Prep second time around. I thought they brought everything to the table that they needed to, that they didn't in the first game. And it really set up to be an epic up. It was for Fairfield Prep, but it definitely was indeed a doozy. Moving forward, it's the Mustangs. They'll hit the... Actually, they'll not hit the red line. They tried to, but it was taken by the Tigers. They'll slap that one into the offensive zone, but it's chipped up and out of play. 1:03 to go on the power play for this Tigers team. There's a shot of the bench there. As it's the last time you'll see this 2024-2025 Tigers on home ice here at the Winter Garden. It's been a really, really good season for them. A fun one to watch and to follow along. It's really been a pleasure, especially on home ice. I mean, it's always fun to see them play in the white uniforms.
I like the black ones as well. I actually think both of them are equal in looks. I think the black one's reminiscent of jersey, the jerseys, you could say. Tigers home with the, I've never seen that look from the Tigers in years prior on the, but it's a new one. I like it. The font is, it's a new from last season. Those jerseys are new. As Warde got new jerseys in too, which is interesting enough. They added the blue stripe that is below the red stripe. It used to just be white and black, their uniforms, but white, black, and blue, signifying that they have some players on Ludlowe. You know, you can't leave out a co-op, your uniform or logo scheme or anything like that. It just can't happen for a co-op. McNicholas hitting the red line, dumping it deep, going off for a change. Just 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this third period. Tigers still in the power play of change, and it's about to be even. Blockley taking possession, headed towards his own goal and behind it, but then cuts back. Innocent feet move forward, neutral zone, slapping it ahead is the Tigers forward. Now 5 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the third. Again, Tigers didn't elect to play any offense on this man advantage. They know that they had the game, and really good poise from Timmy Gallagher to stay calm there, not retaliate after Ryan Dilley had hit his wing partner in Craig Hertwig in a pretty violent manner from behind as well. He did get the penalty for that play, and a big hit at the blue line there. Graziadei, who came on late to this game, connected and collided with Jake Kurtz at the blue line, the Tigers zone. Big collision there. Now we've had 2 whistles in this period. Just about 4 minutes to go in the second period. One of the whistles was an icing against Warde, and the second whistle was a penalty against Fairfield. Interesting enough, that might be a second one, as that one goes down the ice, and there it is. I don't know how I knew it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen. I knew that it was time for a whistle. But here's a replay of that big hit that we had saw earlier. It was Kurtz connecting with Graziadei, who again he had gotten into this game late, and both players taking a lot of that spill. They're both going to feel that one in the morning, as they both skated off as well, which is good. We don't want to see anyone hurt, especially in this game. You know, in this one, in a blowout, no one injured. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go now in the third period. The Tigers will hit the red line. They'll dump it in deep. They'll get a new. Around from the left side. Field defense. Unsure of the number right now, but he's headed back towards his own goal, behind it for some protection. And it looks like it was actually Harry Geary, not a defenseman, but a forward, who made that play. Luke Silence dropping that puck. Now just 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the third period. The Tigers will hit the red line. They'll dump it in deep. Silence from below the goal line. From the left side. Makes an indirect pass and goes for a hit on McNicholas. Now it looks like there's going to be a penalty on the play. McNicholas and Silence exchanging some words. Who's going to go to the box? There's no way. It seems like Silence had the puck and then went to McNicholas and gave him a little up high. Gives him a little bit of a slap, but I don't think he's in the box for anything. Another power play opportunity from the Tigers. Let's see what they do here now. Now, you saw Luke Silence there lose his temper a little bit. Tried to get the Tigers player, McNicholas, to react for a little bit of retaliation. Let's see if the Tigers get to work in this power play. Jay Kurtz on the ice with Simonello. Looks like McNicholas as well. 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the third period. Face-off, one back possession. Nicholas moves it across the zone over Barton. Ciminello now passing in front to Kurtz, and he just can't get stick on that one. McNicholas in front now off the pad of Hood. Ciminello now drops it down over to Kurtz, but goes it for McNicholas in the corner. McNicholas on the forehand, walks up the half wall, passes it up to the slot, over for Rose, who passes it in front, and a nice stop there from Hood. Kurtz gives him some credit, taps his pads, and there will be a face-off in the Fairfield zone with 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go, and just 1 minute and 28 left on the power play for the Tigers. Here's the shot. It was a nice tip from Kurtz, and he thought he got the better of Hood there. As you can see, they share a good moment of sportsmanship and camaraderie. Walking the line is Schlapach. He'll drop that puck. He'll take this shot. And that was Jay Kurtz who got the shot off. Back over to Schlapach, moving it along the wall over to McNicholas. Dropping the puck for McNicholas is Kurtz. Moving it over to Schlapach. Here's the shot. Now in front for Kurtz and a backhand try. He'll move it back out to Ciminello. Ciminello tries to walk towards the net. Almost kept in there by Schlapach, and now it's an odd man rush. Breakaway opportunity here. Here's the shot, the score! Unsure who it was. I think it was number 8. Nope, number 2 in Davies. Rhett Davies gets the goal here for Fairfield, and he makes it 8-2. Nice shot on the PK, beating Sproul. And McNicholas almost got back there, but beating Sproul on his glove side again. Fairfield found an opening there against Sproul. Maybe a little bit of a weakness on that glove side, and he makes the stop. Face-off won by Ridgefield. Blockley enters the offensive zone from the left side. Now here's the fake shot from Hertwiger. It looks like he might have just lost possession. He'll slap that one down below the goal line. Tigers forwards were actually starting their back check towards home. Now a lot of seniors on the ice. Teddy Sproul, Clayton Walsh. Hertwig, of course, is a sophomore along with Gallagher, but now they'll move it up top for Blockley. Blockley across the zone over for Gallagher. He gets it on his forehand. Now moves it across the zone for Hertwig. Passing in front, the shot, and it just goes wide. Sproul couldn't get a stick on it. He couldn't get all the mustard on that one. He needed to get it past the goaltender. Now makes a nice move towards the middle. It's intercepted there and taken by Fairfield, but now even strength here. Shot towards the net. Save. Sproul behind the net on the forehand, passing out to Gallagher. Gallagher up top for Blockley. Blockley walks, fires, tip shot. Gallagher with the rebound, and no goal. Waved off by the referee as it stays out. Blockley moving it across the zone. Now another pass across the zone, and it will stay out of the net. That pass coming from Hertwig over to Gallagher. Hertwig on the half wall. Forehand pass over to Sproul. Looks like they're trying to set up Sproul for a goal here. The wraparound, the score! May have been his first goal. It was definitely the first goal of his season. And that was an exciting one. With just 25 seconds to go in this third period, I believe since they just had gotten off the man advantage and Sproul hasn't had a goal, they were saying, why not get him one? And they do so there. Just 10 seconds to go now in this third period. Tigers up 7, and in this quarterfinal, they will take the victory and move on to Thursday's game in Darien against Darien. The Blue Wave, the second-ranked team, getting the bye in this FCIAC tournament, along with New Canaan. Both of those teams getting the bye. And now Ridgefield with that. and the tone stayed the same. The Tigers win 9-2 against the Mustangs. They move on in this FCIAC tournament. The Mustangs will have one more game against Amity next week. And the Tigers will play this Thursday against the Blue Wave in this FCIAC tournament. If they lose, they will play in the state tournament for their next game. And if they win, they will go to the FCIAC championship. Stay tuned. We will see that on MVP TV this Thursday in the game between the Tigers and the Blue Wave. Well, folks, from all of us here at MVP TV, Justin Couette, the producer, the director, and cameraman, and Joey Delgado, and myself calling the game, Michael Conciatore, always a pleasure to be by your side in presenting this great team of Tigers as they take the win against Fairfield. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.